Hello and welcome! I figured it's about time for me to pick up on the series that I never finished a couple of years ago. And I will leave a link in the description too if you want to check out the previous installments that I've did. I started to talk about what I would change in each of the parks, and we covered Hollywood Studios and Epcot. And clearly they both are going through a lot of changes. Some changes are good, some changes are not. But today we're going to continue on and talk about the first park ever created with the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom isn't my favorite park, but I do really appreciate the history and the classicness of it and how vintage it is and how traditional it is. And therefore I really don't have that many things that I would change about it, because this was Walt Disney's vision, this is what he came up with, and it really set the tone for what the Walt Disney Company would become. I love Main Street. Main Street is my favorite part of the Magic Kingdom because it is very classic, very vintage, and old school, and everything I love aesthetically wise. The only thing is that Main Street is basically shops and some food restaurants, because you have Tony's Town Square, and then you have the Starbucks now. And then you have some photo opportunities, but that's it. There's no attractions, there's nothing at all. So, I think it'd be really cool to add a Walt Disney exhibit on Main Street. Kind of similar to One Man's Dream and Hollywood Studios. I feel like having the history of the theme parks inside the theme park would be really cool. I know it's a little bit meta, but I think that'd be really cool and really great for the history buffs that really enjoy that stuff. And you also are showing how much this company has done and the history of it. Not just for Mickey Mouse, but just showing an overlay of more of his hometown and everything that didn't really cover in One Man's Dream. I know One Man's Dream is more focused on his movie process and the history of the movies, which is really cool, and I really do admire that exhibit, but I think it'd be cool to add something else just in there. As we travel on down, we have Adventureland and Tomorrowland. And we're gonna go take a right towards Adventureland because Adventureland needs a complete overhaul. I actually do love a lot of Adventureland. I think it's really nice. You have classics like Jungle Cruise, and I do really appreciate Swiss Family Robinson's Treehouse. I am really excited to go back and to tour it again because I've gone through it without seeing the movie, but now that I've seen the movie, it's just nice to see. It's not that exciting, but it's more the fact that this was a huge movie during the 60s and they brought it to the parks, and it's more the fact that it's historical, similar to Carousel of Progress. That Carousel of Progress is just very, very historical and very cool that it's still here. And it's basically the same thing with Swiss Family Treehouse. The one thing I will say though is that we need to take out Aladdin's Flying Magic Carpets, because we already have Dumbo and we already have Astro Orbiters, which also we should take that out too, because I went on Astro Orbiters and didn't expect it to speed up at the end, and I regretted that decision. Oh wow. Oh wow. You can feel the people. Oh wow! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! This is like the best view ever! Yeah, but it's kind of making me dizzy. Oh yeah. That ride was more intense than I expected.
You said it was Dumbo, and it was so not Dumbo.
It's not Dumbo, no. It's much faster than Dumbo. We have so many of those flying rides throughout the entire lands, because we have the one in Animal Kingdom as well. They're just very repetitive, they're really easy. I know they're great for kids, but we have so many that you don't need all of them. And instead we should add a Moana roller coaster, or anything Moana wise, to Adventureland, because that'd be amazing, and I am a Moana stan. I do appreciate that for like our newer movies if we're gonna add everything into it. Otherwise, I do love Adventureland as is. Same thing with Frontierland. Frontierland is really classic. I really wouldn't have any changes to Frontierland. I love Big Thunder and Splash Mountain's really nice. Although, again, we have an entire ride dedicated to a movie that's banned, and it's the oddest concept to me.
We're here, we're ready to ride Splash Mountain.
But no.
I mean, no. I was told that we could be the first to ride Splash Mountain, and we're ready to go.
Well, it's not open yet.
Moving on to Liberty Square, we have the Haunted Mansion, which is one of my favorites. And I've heard rumors that there's going to be a Haunted Mansion restaurant. I haven't had those rumors in a while. They kind of disappeared, but I still vote for a Haunted Mansion restaurant. That would be amazing, and I would love to dine there. Especially because you have the Jungle Cruise restaurant with Skipper's Canteen, and I feel like Jungle Cruise isn't as popular a ride compared to Haunted Mansion, but I guess it is. But for me, Haunted Mansion is where it's at. And we need more of it. I love the gift shop, even though it's terrible for my wallet, but I'm really, really happy Memento Mori finally got a gift shop, and we need to keep on adding. You can capitalize on this and I will give you all my money. That's what will happen. When we go into Fantasyland, again, it's very classic. It's all the rides that they start out with, so I wouldn't have that many changes to Fantasyland, although I would love to add a Rapunzel stage show, because I feel like she got gypped by just having bathrooms. And I know that now she has a section in the stage show on the hub with the Royal Friendship Fair or whatever it's called. Because you do have Tiana, you have Rapunzel, and you have Elsa and Anna in there, which is nice because the newer princesses. But I still feel like you should give Rapunzel something more permanent within Fantasyland that isn't bathrooms. Because she got gypped. Even though it's not as relevant anymore, and I do feel like they missed the mark with capitalizing on it in the 90s, I would love to have more Who Framed Roger Rabbit within Magic Kingdom, especially with Fantasyland. It worked really well with Toontown, and I know it's in California. In Disneyland, you have the ride in Disneyland, and the whole Toontown's still there. But I still would like to at least see the character meet and greet with Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit, or anything with them. I would really appreciate. And I would say for Hollywood Studios, but we know how the way Hollywood Studios is going, and it's not going in the direction that I want it to be in with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So therefore we're gonna put it in Magic Kingdom instead. And finally we get to Tomorrowland, which I really do love the atmosphere of Tomorrowland. I do appreciate that they decided to go in a retrospect of Tomorrowland throughout all the Disney parks. And I like the aesthetic that ours is a 1920s look at the future, and it has a lot of the Art Deco vibe to it. And Space Mountain's really awesome the way it is, and the People Mover is something that they can never ever 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 take out, because it's my favorite. It's so simple, but it's just relaxing, and you get to have a tour of the park, and it's so nice. But the one thing I do want back is a timekeeper. I think by now everyone knows that I'm a huge Robin Williams stan, and I need him to be immortalized as many ways possible within the parks. He is immortalized currently with Figment, but we all know that that's kind of going away and changing, and I'm worried that they're going to take down his picture. Robin! I still miss it. I feel he needs to stay here forever. We need to celebrate his memory forever and ever and ever. He's important. Therefore, we need to add Timekeeper back in. I think it was a really cool show. It was such an amazing attraction. I did get to see it when I was young, but clearly I didn't understand it as much as I would today. And I think it'd be nice to be able to recycle and bring it back. I think there's no shame of recycling classic attractions, and look at how successful Captain EO was and how great it was to be able to bring that back, and I think this would be really great for it too. Thankfully, Stitch's Great Escape is going away. We know this. And I know there's rumors that there's going to be a Wreck-It Ralph attraction, which I am totally cool with, although it does take away from the original aesthetic of Tomorrowland, which is a little bit sad. And Monsters Inc. floor is okay. It is enjoyable the first or second time, but then afterwards it's the same thing over and over again. I know it's for kids, and it's a really great attraction for kids, but I think Tomorrowland now has been more focused on really kid attractions and too many characters, and it lost that rich aesthetic that they were going for originally back in the 90s. So it would be nice to be able to kind of adjust the shift and bring it back to its original vision, compared to now where we have Toy Story with Buzz Lightyear, although it's a great ride, but we have Toy Story Mania in Hollywood Studios, which is so much better of an experience. And then we have Monsters Inc. and thankfully Stitch is gone, but I don't know what's going there because it could be Wreck-It Ralph, which is awesome, but it's to be determined. And we are getting Tron, which I'm really, really excited for, so that's going to be something amazing. I am looking forward to that. But otherwise, that covers my Magic Kingdom list. It's not super long because Magic Kingdom has its own identity, and it pretty much did stay true to most of its identity so far. And we will see what happens. I am really excited to see what they're going to do for the 50th anniversary. It's only 2 years away. I can't get over it. It's insane. So I know that we will have more announcements of what's actually changing, but at least that's my dream list. And I would love to hear what you guys want to see change. So if you have any suggestions of what you want to see in Magic Kingdom, leave a comment down below and I would love to see what you guys think. You can stay tuned, and as always, I hope you have a magical day and I will see you real soon.